Hey guys, it's Jane. It's Friday and I'm here for Friday Reads. As you can hear, my voice isn't super great, so we're going to make this extra quick today. I've just come down with a end of winter cold. We've had a big change of weather lately. It's been beautiful and sunny all this week, like as in not even wearing shoes weather. It's raining today, which is another thing we get here in Melbourne in spring. But yeah, I think it's the change in the weather. And I need to get past this rambly bit at the beginning and get into the books before my voice completely gives out. I finished a few things this week. I finished N.K. Jemisin's The Fifth Season, which was a reread that I was doing in order to read N.K. Jemisin's The Obelisk Gate, which was a fantastic book. If you guys haven't got onto the bandwagon yet, you need to give it a try because the writing is masterful and there's some amazing concepts being worked out here. I can't tell you all that much about the second book because there really are genuinely spoilers from the first book because there's a number of twists in the first book, and so I can't explain too much about the second book without giving stuff away. But one of the things I will say is that a lot of people get put off in the first book, in the fifth season, because one of the point of view characters that they follow, it has a second person voice, as in it says you are doing this, you are doing that. And in The Obelisk Gate, that is actually normalized because it turns out it is coming from not that person's point of view, but from somebody who is following them. And so the whole second person thing is not just a formal piece of writerly, highfalutin business, but is actually a part of the plot, which again was a really interesting kind of revelation. But I'm not going to say anything more than that. I really enjoyed the second book, and it ends again on a bit of a cliffhanger. And so the sad part is that I now have to wait like another 12 months probably before I get the concluding volume. But I'm really looking forward to finding that out. There was no disappointment whatsoever from the second book. So that's the main thing that I read this week. I also read Blake Crouch's Dark Matter. This was a bit of a letdown coming after N.K. Jemisin. It's a science fiction sort of thriller, I guess. So the setup is the main character, who is the only point of view character throughout the whole book, is this kind of physicist who was an up-and-coming bright light in his early career, but then something happened in his personal life and he let his career take a bit of a backseat to dealing with more personal stuff, and as a result he hasn't gone on to the great things that some people expected of him. And then one night, after he's just been in a bar with his old college roommate on his way home to his wife and child, he is kidnapped, brought through this kind of strange way into another world, which is kind of not a completely separate world, but a different iteration of his timeline. And in that new world that he goes into, he did follow his career, and in fact he invented this amazing thing that allowed the kidnapper to send him back through space-time or whatever to this other world, and then he's just wanting to get back home. So that's the general thrust of the book. At some levels it was actually quite well done. The writing is, nice and pacey and stuff, but I couldn't really get into it, especially after reading N.K. Jemisin, because N.K. Jemisin is so rich, the ideas that she's working through and the characterization and stuff, and this just felt really shallow. It felt kind of like reading an airplane thriller to me, and that may be about the context that I was reading it in, but it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't anything I'm going to rave about. So I'm sorry, Jen from Today in Jen's Library recommended that book to me, and I can understand why she recommended it, and on a different week maybe I would have enjoyed it more, but not this week. Since I finished that, I have been reading The Last Policeman by Ben H. Winter. This is the first of a completed trilogy, so that's always a good thing when all of the books are already out. I'm really enjoying this. The idea is that the world setup is that there is an asteroid that astronomers have found that is on a trajectory, and it's going to hit the Earth in about 6 months' time, and there's nothing you can do, and it's almost certainly going to be a civilization-ending, world-ending event. And so there's six months basically until the end of the world. And the character that we're following is a police detective in a relatively small town in America. And he's a youngish man. He's only just made detective. And the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and he just keeps doing his job because it's all what he's always wanted to do, and he believes that it's still worthwhile doing. And yeah, the town is suffering a rash of suicides, and he goes to attend one, and for some reason doesn't think it is a suicide, think that things don't really add up, thinks that it may in fact be a murder. And wouldn't, of course, it be a perfect way to get away with murder if everybody's just expecting suicides and you stage something to look like a suicide. So the actual mystery story with the suicide is probably the least engaging part of it. The world and the policeman's character is really engaging. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that, and I'll probably tell you a bit more about it when I finish. After I've done that, the next book that I've got to read is Tansy Raynor Roberts' Musketeer Space, which is a gender-swapped Three Musketeers story in space. And what could be more perfect than that? So that's what I'm going to be reading this weekend, probably from bed, if this doesn't improve. I had something else that I was going to talk about, but I think I just need to rest my voice today. So we'll leave it there. I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.